Welcome back to the River Oaks Theater. My name is Rob Saucedo. I'm the artistic director for the River Oaks, and I want to thank you for joining us back at this Houston historic icon. Who is back at the River Oaks for the first time since we reopened earlier this month? A few of you. Who's already seen a couple of movies so far this October? Excellent. Well, thank you for coming back. You may have noticed as you walked in, things are a little different at the River Oaks. From the decor and the aesthetic, it's been brought back to the movie palace origins of this location, to the food and in-theater dining and beverages. If you want to refill at any point, just push the button on your table and a server will come by and see how they can help you. To the programming. It used to be that if you wanted to watch a movie like Eraserhead at the River Oaks, or most theaters for that matter, you'd have to wait up till midnight. I don't know about you, but staying up till midnight is very hard nowadays. So we wanted to make sure that classic repertory programming was available throughout the entire day. So we will have late shows, but we also have like 6 p.m. Sunday shows at Eraserhead because, David Lynch should be enjoyed with a clear mind as well as a slightly sleepy mind. But the other thing that we're going to be doing at the River Oaks is introducing these new series, one of which is you're here tonight for. It's called Cinemaniacs. It's a Sunday series. Every Sunday we're going to show a different, modern classic, something from 1975 or later. Occasionally we're going to do these big kind of mini series. Like for this example, in October we've shown David Lynch films all month long. And we're going to end this next week with Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me. In November we're going to be showing a month of Wes Anderson films. In December will be like kind of weird off the beaten path Christmas movies. So that's kind of a promise that we can make to you is every Sunday you're going to be able to see something cool on the big screen here at the River Oaks. The other thing that we're going to do is occasionally invite members of the community who are passionate fans or experts or just really enthused about the movie to come up and talk a little bit about what we're showing here. So it's my pleasure to introduce a local Eraserhead aficionado, Drew Nugent. Please come up and introduce the film today. Woo!
Hello everyone, welcome to the River Oaks. Thank you to Robert for the chance to do this. I've been wanting to host a movie or introduce a movie for a long time. And it's amazing to do it here. I'm a big fan of the theater. And funnily enough, about 3 years ago, when the theater had originally closed, I wrote a short story about River Oaks that kind of culminated in a screening of Eraserhead. So it's weirdly like serendipitous to be able to host this or introduce this screening tonight shortly after the reopening. But yeah, so like the movie sort of was in production for a long period of time, starting in 1971. David Lynch had got a scholarship from AFI and was brought on and was given a grant and was able to sort of convert a lot of the film or a lot of the school's stables into sets, and he sort of created this like DIY soundstage in the area that I think gives the film a sort of haunted house vibe in certain portions at least. And it's certainly not a traditional horror film, but I think it could be classified as a horror film and sort of fits into the spooky season that we're currently in. There were some conflicts between Lynch and AFI. He was sort of making a student film in ways, and the higher-ups, some of them didn't really like the script, and they thought that he was making a short film, and he actually had a much grander vision. And he had ran out of funding and all sorts of things, and he actually had a friend named Jack Fisk who donated a big amount of money to the film's budget to keep it moving along. And Jack Fisk's wife, Sissy Spacek, also donated to the film. Sissy Spacek, of course, became an Oscar-nominated actress for Carrie and The Coal Miner's Daughter. And Jack Fisk went on to be production designer for some David Lynch films, and also There Will Be Blood and The Tree of Life. And in terms of the crew of the film originally had a cinematographer that ended up leaving because the production was dragging on for years. And they hired somebody new that came on named Frederick Elms, and he went on to be cinematographer for many films like Jim Jarmusch films and Charlie Kaufman and Todd Solondz, and had a long career. And some other people in this movie went on to big careers. Lynch, of course, did, and he hired somebody when he was auditioning actors. He mostly hired people that he had met in their first meetings, and he felt that he kind of had the perfect people just drop before him. He didn't meet very many people for the parts. One of those people was Jack Nance, who is the lead, Henry Spencer. And he went on to work with Lynch in almost all of his films, and until his untimely death in 1996. But yeah, it had a long production, as I've said, and there's certain shots in the film that, like I read from, there's a shot where Henry Spencer is walking into a door, and it cuts to the other side of the door, and he walks in, and from one point to the other, it's like 3 years apart. So, but the film finally premiered in 1977, and at a film festival called Film X in Los Angeles, and it sort of had a tepid response initially. I read at one point, like I think the premiere had like 24 people in attendance, and many screenings were like that. But it ended up getting sort of the grandfather of midnight movies. I forget his name, but he promoted the film, and it became a big midnight movie success in Los Angeles. And it ended up becoming a really big commercial success as a midnight movie. And there were lines around the block, and it played for years as a midnight movie. And filmmakers such as John Waters, who also had a midnight movie success with Pink Flamingos, promoted the film and were really into the film. And Stanley Kubrick even said that it was his favorite film at one point, and that's something David Lynch has talked about a lot, because obviously it's a big honor. But yeah, so it ended up getting success. Mel Brooks was producer for The Elephant Man, and he went to see Eraserhead, and because of that, he ended up hiring David Lynch. And that film was successful and got many Oscar nominations, and sort of put David Lynch on the path for the rest of his storied career. But anyway, that's sort of a background of the movie. I'm a really big fan of Eraserhead. I've heard people like Ari Aster talk about how it's sort of something for filmmakers. You watch some of David Lynch's work, and especially Eraserhead, and it sort of opens up the medium for you, makes you realize that cinema, there's so many possibilities in cinema. And Lynch was actually originally a painter and a sculptor early in his career, and he had been doing a painting, and he figured that he wanted to make it move, and he figured that film was the best way to do this. And I think in Eraserhead especially, more so than any of his works, I mean, you can see it in his other works too, but you can really see that painterly quality and that idea of early artwork turned into a film experience, and I think that's something that's really cool about it. But I hope you all enjoy the film as much as I do. I love it. It's a masterpiece in my opinion. Please remember to tip your servers, and they're going to be working really hard for you, and no talking or texting. And let's all just soak into the experience of David Lynch's masterpiece, Eraserhead. Thank you.